Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to another episode of the What's Going On podcast. How you doing, my mans?
Brother, I'm doing good, man. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Seeing you often now. That you live so close.
Exactly.
Summer vibes are coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Winter was a bit too long.
Yeah, it was like an awful April, and often like April in Stockholm is quite alright actually. It's quite alright. So, but I think it was. I think it was
like
week
or so has been pretty damn nice.
Yeah. It's been like summer vibes in the city. Last weekend it felt like I was like on vacay. Because it was so warm. Yeah, man. And you got all these like summer vibes and so on. So we got so many good things ahead of us.
You can just tell people so much happier.
Yeah, exactly. It's like pure,
such a difference.
Yeah, pure happiness. You have everything in front of you, and every day when you wake up, basically there will be the sun shining. Yeah, and that's different. If you live in Sweden, you know what we mean. When you wake up, it's not always that the sun's out. Yeah. So it just feels like everyone in Sweden is basically so much happier this time of the year.
And it's scientific as well.
Yeah, definitely.
The sun does make you happy.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's understandable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but we're not here to talk about the weather. but it's also like fun to start off by talking some shit. But today is Thursday. It's the 18th of May, and we've just wrapped up the Champions League semi-finals. Actually, so this week there was a Milan derby, the second leg, and also Manchester City against Real Madrid, second leg. And that game was actually yesterday, and I think we have that so fresh in our minds. So I think we should start with that game actually.
Man, I agree.
Because it was a crazy game. The first leg ended 1-1, so it was
quite an even game.
Yeah, quite an even game. Really good, like quality wise. Also, it was a really good game, but maybe not the most like exciting game. But like the level of the game was insane.
Like you could tell those are the two best teams in Europe. That's how you felt watching that game.
Yeah, definitely. It felt like a final.
Yeah, it is. It is more or less a final.
Yeah, exactly. If you should be fair, it's actually the final. Yeah. It's the two best teams in Europe. They should be in the final. Yeah. But
and also when you look at the team on the other side of the draw.
Yeah, exactly. It's been like
Inter Milan.
Yeah. Yeah, the level of quality has been like really different on the two sides. Yeah. But also talking about quality, we have to say that Manchester City showed a massive quality in yesterday's game compared to Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid.
It wasn't a contest, honestly. This was supposed to be a matchup, right? Yeah. We're like, oh fuck. I mean, this could go either way, right?
Yeah.
The odds did say that City were big favorites. I think 1.28 compared to 3.5. But still, like, just knowing Real Madrid, you felt like, okay, they always find a way. They probably will. It's
their tournament.
Exactly.
They're the most winners of the tournament, right?
Yeah. 14.
Yeah, exactly. And they can win games in the Champions League, even though they're definitely not like the best team on the field. Yeah, easily. But it's crazy like how good they are tactically and knowing how to win games. Yeah. But I think you just saw here that Manchester City they're just on another level quality wise. With all the players they got.
Hey, they're ridiculous. I think that first half hour. That's some of the best football I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And arguably Pep's finest spell of football.
Maybe
those for 30 minutes, seeing Madrid being dominated that way.
Yeah, that's
maybe
crazy.
Probably the best ever by an English team as well.
Yeah,
just those opening 30 minutes.
Yeah, and we talked about this before we started hop on the podcast, but memory wise, you forget so fast the start of the season, also like the middle of the season where City was like struggling a bit. It was actually people like questioning if Erling Braut Haaland was like the right striker for them, even though he's scoring all these goals, because they had some problems to break through teams and to win games and so on. But the last 2 months, City has been like crazy good, and I think there is nothing that can stop them to go for the quadruple now.
Or treble.
I mean,
we won the Carabao. So.
Oh, true. Should give you that one for sure. They can't win all the 4 ones because
exactly. They got knocked out by Nathan Jones's Southampton.
Oh yeah, true. Damn, that's crazy.
But yeah, mate, like you said, I mean, they've been since the national break. They've been, mesmerizing. Honestly, yeah. Before that, like we discussed. Haaland, looking at the statistics, he actually wasn't making them better. Right?
No.
Things didn't look as fluid. It looked like Pep Guardiola was still trying to find, how to find his way of playing, right? How do I make this click? And it wasn't clicking. Like, they were still good. They were still second in the league and like winning most of the games.
Yeah, and he was scoring a lot of goals. But
and Holland was scoring.
But you can see that there was like a team that was like pretty well balanced and pretty. They had like the relationships, but you couldn't see them attaching really with Holland because he's a different type of player.
Yeah,
he's not a typical like Guardiola player.
He isn't at all.
But now I think they found his strengths and how they should use them, and also like how they don't need to be like that dependent on him scoring goals.
Yeah, for sure.
Because yesterday it was like Bernardo Silva scoring 2.
Yeah.
You have Akanji, or it was like an own goal, but
own goal from who was it? It was Militao.
Militao, yeah.
And then Alvarez at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So it was not even like Erling Braut didn't even need to score when they win like 4-0, which is also like a major strength.
And he could have had a hat-trick actually if it wasn't for Courtois.
Yeah, exactly. Damn.
Courtois had some insane saves.
Yeah.
2 headers and then the other one with his right foot.
Especially the second header.
Yeah, that was...
I think because the first header is more like he's getting hit by the ball. You know what I mean? It's still a good save.
Good positioning.
Yeah. But you know the second one, I think is a world-class save.
Yeah, it is.
It's
actually one of the best I've seen.
Yeah, one of the best I've seen. Definitely, for sure.
You
know, and the fact that he's like so tall, he can do those types of saves, and he's also like stepping up hugely.
Yeah, man, he's been so clutch for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think he's up there now with Maignan. You know. He's better. I'm just biased here, but
but Maignan is up there. For sure. But I mean, tough to argue that Courtois isn't the best in the world.
Yeah.
Especially in the big moments.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Talking about before the period before Bernardo scored a goal in the 22nd minute, City had a possession of 81%.
Yeah, insane. And they've done like 202 passes compared to 28.
Wow.
In the first 20
in the 22nd minute.
Yeah.
Damn. Where the Real's 28.
Yeah.
They almost didn't. They didn't have the ball basically then.
No, they didn't. And Vinicius and Valverde hadn't made a pass yet.
Damn, that's crazy.
22 minutes into a game.
I haven't seen that stat before. That's crazy.
And the first half, Real 20% possession, 10 touches in City's final third, while City had 196 touches in Real's final third.
What?
So it was like totally outclassed.
But also like Real Madrid, they've been dominated in like these big games. They've been like going through in like quite even games in Champions League before, where they have like quite low possession and so on. But this is humiliation.
It was
for sure.
I mean, how do you beat a Real Madrid team 4-0?
Yeah, it's crazy. And also like you know they don't have that many injuries. They're pretty much the best team that they can put on the field.
I think they have any injuries at the moment.
No, not any like injury that would have like make them better.
Yeah, it's not like Benzema was injured.
No, exactly. They had Vinny.
Yeah,
it was like they had like so many good players.
Yeah, that's crazy because City, they've destroyed their biggest rivals in the CL.
Yeah,
and in the PL.
Yeah,
in the last couple of weeks at that Etihad. 4-1 against Arsenal.
Yeah,
4-0 against Real.
Yeah,
I mean, like they're just a class above.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Honestly. And they actually haven't lost since they were charged with those 115 financial violations. They haven't lost a game.
That's crazy. Also,
and that was I think sometime in February.
They haven't lost a game since then.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I think they've drawn like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And won everything else.
Damn. Now they're above Arsenal. But that's also like how they came over them.
Yeah.
Right now, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Because before that, it felt like they were losing some points here and there. They were losing some games and so on. But since then, they've been like consistent. You know, either winning or drawing. And when you do that, you can definitely progress in the table quite fast.
Yeah.
And Arsenal have been dropping points, losing vital games. So my prediction that Arsenal will win wasn't the best one, but it was also like with the heart a little bit too, because I really wanted Arsenal to win because it would have been fun for the league.
Yeah.
But now also I'm like super impressed with what City's doing. So crazy.
For me, this is the best City team ever. I really liked watching the Sterling, Aguero, Sané team. From like 17, 19.
Yeah.
I thought they were just a joy to watch. You know, the way the wingers and the overlaps and the playing to the back post and all the cutbacks and so on. It was a joy to watch. But I think this team they have a bit more. You know,
definitely
more solid defensively. They can play in different ways. They have Holland up top, of course. You know, they have that real number 9.
I think also that they have like, because Sané and Sterling, they're really good players, but they can also be it can depend. The qualities of them can depend.
Yeah, they're not consistent.
Yeah, now they have quite a much more like consistent team, in my opinion. With like you have Grealish, you have Mahrez, you have Bernardo.
Yeah, true.
You have like players that can like, and then also like really good players that can come off the bench. You know, that you can have like a guy like Julian Alvarez.
Yeah, mate.
He's super good.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And on that topic, actually, one thing I've been super impressed by City is just how good they've been at refreshing the squad.
Yeah.
You know, they've barely missed, the likes of Kompany, Yaya Toure, Fernandinho, David Silva, Kun Aguero.
Yeah.
They've missed those as well. And especially when you compare to United, the way we've messed up after... losing Rio, and Vidic, and Scholes, and Giggs, and Rooney. Like, we haven't been able to replace those guys, really.
No, exactly. They've been going through, like, a generation change without even... You even thought about it.
Yeah, you don't think about it. Like, the hit rate on replacements is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, they've been buying, like, players that are, like... They are, of course, like, super good. But maybe people were before, like, okay... None would have maybe predicted that these players would be, like, world class.
Yeah. That's the thing, like... How many like superstars have they bought other than Haaland?
It's like, Grealish, really good player.
100 million.
Yeah, and also like Mahrez, from Leicester. But there's like players.
But it's not like they're buying guys like Mbappe.
No, exactly.
Vinicius.
Exactly. They're also buying like good players from squads with the lower quality, and then they develop the players to be world class.
Nathan Ake, Akanji, Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, it's also like crazy. Those type of guys.
Yeah.
Like the way also like Kyle Walker now. Because he had a few seasons previously where he wasn't that good, but it also felt like he's been like increasing in class, and it's also like been like really like showing also that Cancelo, if you don't have the right mentality, even though you're a really good player, you have to go.
Yeah, not for sure.
So it's been like really like it's not only about what name you have, it's what you actually perform. Out there on the field. Which I'm also like super impressed with.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
and even just letting guys like Sterling, Zinchenko, Jesus go, replacing them with Akanji, Alvarez, and Grealish. It's like I don't know, it just seems to work. And like you said, letting Cancelo go because of his mentality, his attitude.
Yeah, and I definitely think that City's like way of working with Pep Guardiola with his like way of thinking football, their like sporting directions and so on. They have the same mentality, so I think it's like such a tight work between them.
Yeah, it seems like they have a really good relationship.
Yeah, which is like super important. We can see that in clubs where that doesn't fit and where that doesn't match, where the coach don't get the players that they want, and then if those type of relations don't work, then you won't find these gems that will fit directly into the team.
Yeah.
So I think City is the best team in the world there.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. The way they refresh the squad, find the right players, even if they're not the biggest names.
Exactly. Also, they have like so much money.
Yeah, of course.
But Chelsea maybe got more.
Yeah.
But you can see there that the capacity and the understanding of the game of football is not there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Of course, we've talked about the amazing performance and so on, but of course, it doesn't need to be taken into context. It is at the end of the day, it is an Abu Dhabi State project,
for sure,
and it's become the most lavish, sporting project ever. The randomness of cup football can't withstand financial superiority forever.
Nah, exactly.
They've been, unlucky the last couple of seasons. Yeah, mentality, bad luck, and so on. But eventually, money does talk, right? But at the same time, it isn't all about money. Like, you do need a good setup around you.
For sure.
But I just feel like Pep has reached a point of perfection, right? Like, he has perfect conditions with infrastructure built perfectly for him. Yeah. And he is an incredible coach, right? So
exactly.
So City, they have done the right thing with money. There's a lot of clubs who don't, right? But
But
this is different level money, though. This is like state money.
It is. But still, you have to use them in the right way.
Yeah.
But as you say, you can see that also like state money can do things super fast. With Newcastle, for example, you can see there that there's also a state there with Saudi Arabia investing in Newcastle. And you can see now that they are like in the top of the Premier League now.
Yeah, top 4 already.
Yeah, which is like crazy because
it is impressive.
They were almost
they
like
signed any big players either.
No, exactly. And they were like almost like going down last season.
Yeah, they were I think they were 20th at Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
And normally, if you're 20th at Christmas, naturally the stats say that you go down.
Yeah, so it's crazy, like how fast and how big a state fund can impact a team.
Yeah, for sure. And the part about like money, like this isn't like sympathy for Real Madrid, because I think Real Madrid, like, they're one of the responsible factors in the football landscape looking like it does today.
Yeah.
The game was like for so long disproportionately influenced by their demands, and now they've created a world that's gotten out of their control.
Yeah.
Do you mean? And they're being brutalized for it.
Yeah, for sure.
They're being punished. But, they're the ones who've kind of been driving this whole
with Galacticos
exactly.
and so on. But now when Premier League are the league it is, with all the money, it becomes like it has become like its own like Super League of football. Because the financial levels are so different if you compare it to, I would say that Spain and England, I think it's hard to like say which one is the best league, but now it has to be Premier League. With all the money is being invested in lower league teams, not like lower Premier League teams buy players from like Atletico Madrid and like really like big teams in Spain, which also like says basically where you are in the chain of the football world. So
it does. And I mean, part of that is like the mistakes from the other leagues, right? Not distributing the money evenly between teams.
For sure.
The bigger clubs, the greedy bigger clubs, taking all of that.
Yeah, we've been talking about that with Matt Slater.
Yeah, with Matt Slater, a bit with Borja as well.
Yeah, exactly, from Betis. And they've been agreeing with us that it's also a smart way of doing it, and also with like branding and so on. Premier League have been super good with that.
The focus on the product.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, just a couple players I think just from that game. Worth mentioning.
Worth a highlight.
I think Bernardo, of course.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Pep said in his post-game interview that like he's one of the most talented players he's coached.
Yeah.
Like the way he just finds space, he finds it so effortlessly, frequently, and naturally. Like it just comes so easily to him. And I was texting you yesterday. I'm like, how does he get past players so easily? Like he's not fast.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean? He's
That's
not
the
fast
thing.
at all, but he gets past fast fullbacks.
Yeah. Just with like driving the ball through them. And I don't even like understand how he does it, but it's crazy because I also feel like he was like that super talent that I think he had some years that before he broke through. It's like
he was not a late bloomer, but he wasn't like, it took a while before he really
for sure
stepped up, right?
Yeah, because I remember when Sweden faced Portugal in the like under 21 Euros in 2015, which Sweden won. But we beat Portugal in the final. And Bernardo Silva, he was like so hyped, being the next big talent of Portugal. And I didn't see like the hype. I could see like he's definitely a really good player, but I don't think he will reach the top level.
Yeah.
And then it felt like, when he went to City, I wasn't sure that he was actually going to make it there.
And he wasn't first choice either.
Nah,
he's had a couple seasons he hasn't been first choice.
Exactly.
Last season, I don't think he wasn't really first choice all the time. His first season, he wasn't either. Of course, it was like Sane, Aguero, and Sterling, and he sometimes played in the midfield, but he wasn't like he hasn't been nailed this whole time there.
Nah, so that's the thing. Also, like I'm super impressed, like with the mental part here.
Yeah,
because to be a super hype talent at such a young age, and then to break through and actually become the really good player that you are, to find that talent within yourself and to pursue it. In big games like this, I'm super impressed with Bernardo Silva, and I didn't see that one coming actually.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised as well.
Perform on this level, that he's doing now.
Yeah, and I mean he wanted to leave in last summer.
Yeah, there's also been rumors.
Pep didn't let him, and this summer, it's
been rumors that PSG want to replace Mbappe and Neymar and Messi, kind of with like they want to build their whole squad around Bernardo Silva. That's what I've been reading. Yeah, and also that Barcelona
the three with of course it'd be other players as well.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be Osimhen and Bernardo Silva and some other player. Maybe.
There was even some talk about Michael Olise from Palace.
Yeah.
You saw that
exactly. Yeah.
He's French.
Yeah, also a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
So yeah, but it'll be interesting to see. But as you said yesterday when we were talking about it, that it's been rumors that he will leave. I think that he might stay now.
If they win the treble,
maybe if he wants another like challenge, and then PSG is definitely a challenge to win something that even and not the public league to win something that actually means actually a really an important title.
Yeah, true.
But it would be interesting to see if he decides to stay in City.
It will be. Yeah, but I loved his finish for that first goal.
Yeah,
those are my favorite type of finishes.
Yeah,
near post, give the keeper the eyes. They think you're shooting to the far post.
Yeah,
and just hit in near post.
Yeah, it's also
I love those.
Left-footed players. They often try to go for the other post.
Yeah.
So it's also like super cheeky.
Yeah,
to finish like that.
Arjen Robben and Anthony and so on. Like it's always far post finish.
Yeah, you know what they're gonna do, but it's still like super hard to like stop them from doing it.
Yeah, but this guy, I mean,
So he's a crazy player.
But I think someone else also deserves a big shout out is Kyle Walker.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like in general he's underappreciated and even disrespected by fans. Like a lot of fans don't think he's that good. He's like, oh, he's just a pace merchant, which, I mean, his pace is ridiculous. Like we saw yesterday with Vinicius.
Yeah.
But still, it feels like his fellow professionals really know how good he is.
Yeah.
You saw him hugging Vinicius after the first game.
Yeah.
You know, Vinicius, fuck, you gave me a tough time. He locked down Mbappe in the World Cup quarterfinal as well.
Yeah.
Like, he keeps, the best left wingers in the world on lock.
Definitely. And this was like, there's been some controversies around him, with like, I think he inhaled, what do you call it?
Like, those like balloons.
Yeah, balloons. It was like, he was caught in a picture doing that. It was like that he went to like a strip club and starting to have like a fight or something. So
he does like to party.
Yeah. He's a party animal. But that's Jack Grealish is that too. I think that is also like beautiful that you can show that you can be like Erling Braut Haaland that drinks milk and bath those ice baths every day and never go to the club unless you're off season in Marbella and he comes in there with a Dortmund kit. but not like during season. Yeah, exactly. At the club, it's crazy. But I think that's also like beautiful and also like impressive that these players they're so good that they can do all of these things and still perform at that level.
Yeah,
that makes you think like if you were like Erling Braut Haaland, how good would they be? But still, it's like everyone is different, and I think like different mentalities and like different ways of like being as a person. You should be able to express yourself in that way. Everyone can't be like Erling Braut Haaland and Zlatan. That always like stay mentally focused and so on. Some players have to like let their backs off a bit, and hit the club and think about other things.
That's exactly. People are different.
That's the recipe for.
Maybe that's what gives them energy.
Exactly. So I think also that's
stuck at home. If they're stuck at home watching TV series, maybe they get restless and they won't be themselves.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So.
But also Rodri, man, what a player! And I think any of Bernardo, Walker, or Rodri could have got man of the match. I think all of them were insane.
Yeah, and we've been
we touched on how underrated he is.
Yeah, we've been hyping him previously, but it's like I think he's a bit underestimated too. I think it's often that way that the defensive midfielders in like really good teams, like for example Sergio Busquets now leaving Barcelona, it feels like he get appreciation that he should have had. He's getting he's getting it now, but he should have got it. It's like crazy how many titles he brought into Barcelona. But it's more like when he was playing with Iniesta and Xavi, they were like, oh how hard is it to play with those type of players? And I think it's not that way with Rodri, but I think that Rodri is getting more and more praise, which I think is super fair. But I think often like in these really big squads, the central defensive midfielder often you forget about him because they're just there, you know. But they're definitely the spider in the net, you know.
And there's a reason why Kevin Phillips has he's played like 100 minutes this season.
For sure.
And he's maybe not anymore, but he's an England starter. He was at the last years. And
he's
barely played. He's barely played a minute.
The most promising like English defensive midfielder, along with Declan Rice.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then he's coming to City and he
doesn't get a sniff.
Nah, exactly. He stays on that bench no matter what. So that is also like a recipe on how good Rodri is.
Yeah.
Oof. But we talked about it previously, but like Courtois, what a goalkeeper that is. Man. we have to. He was for sure the Real Madrid's best player in this game.
Yeah, now he was for sure.
I think he was the only one that actually showed.
It could have been like 7-0.
Exactly.
For him.
Exactly. So he was the one who actually showed how good he is. He was a 10 out of 10 in this game, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, any of the goals, could he have done anything?
I don't think so.
I don't know. First one, maybe he went down a bit too early. Last one, he couldn't really have, he's not at fault for any of the goals.
Nah, exactly.
And he saved shots that he shouldn't have saved.
Exactly.
So I mean, he had a good game.
He was the only Real Madrid player that in the second leg came up to the level that he should have been on. Yeah,
for sure.
So I was super impressed with him.
I think Benzema though was quite disappointing.
Yeah.
Like you can see he doesn't have the same sharpness he had in last season's Champions League.
Yeah.
He's a year older, but he wasn't at the level you expect.
No.
And crazy drop off from his Champions League form last season.
Yeah, for sure. He in the period previously this season he was in really good form, but I felt like he's decreased a little.
Yeah.
Last few months.
Yeah, Yeah, that's for sure. He's had some injuries though. He's missed some games here and there.
True. That's true.
But still. But someone who was like totally lost was Camavinga at left back.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if he was even able to find the dressing room. Like, he was Bernardo just spun him.
But I think that's been like solution to play him as a left back. It's been like many people have been like praising him, but also like sometimes you can see that he's not a natural left back.
Yeah.
And that's not his position. So I think it's also like unfair to him actually.
Yeah, props to him for like, stepping up and
definitely.
Like he started the World Cup final at left back. And he didn't start, but like
he came in there.
He came on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
For Hernandez.
Yeah.
Yeah, because was he injured? No, he just got subbed off.
Yeah, I think so because he was so terrible defensively, and he was also in the Champions League now, so that's his weakness. But kudos to Camavinga. That he's actually like he doesn't complain. He just does a job and plays as a left back. But I think also for him, he'd rather start as left back or rather than sitting on the bench.
He loves to play.
Yeah, exactly. You got to. Exactly, bro.
Well, one person also want to give a shout out. I gave a shout out to this guy as well after the World Cup final. Is the referee, Szymon Marciniak.
Oh, it was the same guy.
Yeah, it was the same guy at the World Cup final.
Where is he from?
Poland.
Okay.
He's by far the best in the business, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Did you think about him yesterday?
No.
Yeah.
And that's often a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't even think about what they did wrong, what they did right.
Yeah, exactly. Totally in control.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They just do the job in the best way.
Nothing controversial. Keeps the players. Has the respect of the players.
Yeah.
There's a reason he's the ref for the two biggest games this season.
Yeah.
World Cup final and this big Champions League semi-final, and he'll probably do the final as well.
For sure.
Mm.
Interesting also that to have like this. It felt like it was quite a while ago since we have this like world-class referee. Type of referee where everyone like in the world knows the referee. Internationally.
Yeah.
It felt like this guy Colina.
Yeah.
That's the first guy you can come to think of.
Sure.
It would be like nice to have like a big referee like that.
He could be the one.
Yeah, he could be the guy.
Yeah. But do you think either United or Inter can stop City from winning the treble?
I'm actually more leaning on United then. Actually, because I think in the cup final it can be more like City focusing on Champions League.
The Champions League the week after.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that can be the problem there. But I think they will win the Champions League for sure.
Yeah, that's almost a done deal.
Yeah, because I think that's Inter is a way worse team than Real Madrid.
Yeah,
and I think that Milan they could like expose them a little.
For the first half hour, they were totally not totally exposed, but
they had a hard time
against
AC Milan, and they're not on the level that Manchester City are. So I think that City will win the Champions League, but I think actually it can be, it's also like a derby game.
It's a derby game, and United, we're the only English team to have won a treble.
Yeah.
You don't want City to also have done that.
Exactly. So it's a massive motivation also for United to win the game. Of course for Inter too, but I think that Inter, they're also like super. I saw like we're gonna talk about that game soon, but they celebrated that they came to the Champions League final. I think that they are like so. They're like so content with like being, or like they're so satisfied with like only being in the final. They should for sure. But I think
no one would have expected that.
Nah, exactly. But I think City are like so hungry to win the title. So I think the hunger from City will win over Inter.
Yeah, I think United is the last hope of stopping the treble.
Yeah,
because they're going to win the Premier League this weekend for sure.
Yeah, they
could even win it before they play.
Exactly, they can be like
if Arsenal lose or draw. I forgot.
Exactly. If Arsenal don't win.
If Arsenal don't win on Saturday.
Yeah.
Then City.
Then the
Champions ready. And regardless of what happens in Arsenal, if City win their game, they're champions.
Yeah, and they face Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
They should win that game.
Yeah, at the Etihad.
Yeah, because Chelsea is a mid-table, lower table.
Bottom half, 11th or something.
Yeah,
11th or 12th.
Exactly. So that should be 100% a win for City then. Yeah. But as you say, anything can happen in the final.
Yeah, for
real. Even if it's a derby or if it's just like...
You never know. 10
10
minutes in, someone can get a red card and the game's completely turned on the head.
Exactly. Yeah. And it can be like a decisive... like a decision from the referee that can change the whole game.
Yeah.
Also, so you never know. So it's gonna be super interesting to see both of these finals and to follow City's way to the treble. But if we're gonna talk about the other game this week, the Milano Derby, did you watch the game?
Yeah, watched both.
Yeah,
watched both.
Yeah. What do you have to say about the performances from, first of all, AC Milan?
Yeah,
in both games.
AC Milan were poorer than expected. I do think they missed Leao in the first leg.
That was quite like, you can see that quite easily.
But I just thought, you could tell Inter were like at a different level physically. They just look so much fitter, and stronger, and more willing to run.
For sure.
I mean, like,
for sure, and also like it shows like also their coach Simone Inzaghi are a really good coach, and also like Milan's coach Pioli, he's been like super good. He's more of a getting a good atmosphere, getting the players together, but he's not maybe the best like match coach, the best like he's not the mastermind tactically, but he's been super good of like getting together a group that can actually perform things. That was many years ago since AC Milan could do that. So he's a great coach in many ways, but he's not a tactical mastermind, which I think Simone Inzaghi actually is. He's a really good coach. But I think also like the physicality was different, and I also felt like they were more like stable. With Milan, they had a good opening 20 minutes in this game. But
they looked pretty good.
Yeah, they looked pretty good. But
Brahim
then
Diaz had a pretty big chance.
Yeah, exactly. And if you miss those type of chances in that's part of the game, it's gonna be a tough time to go through.
Yeah, for sure.
So I also think that Inter will like more the like mentally they could perform a whole game, and also like when they got the chances they scored.
Yeah,
which is also like super important if you're gonna perform something in a tournament like Champions League.
Yeah, they were clinical.
Yeah,
but I mean, one thing, watching the games, listening to the commentators and the pundits, a lot of them were saying that the atmosphere was like some of the best they've ever heard.
Yeah,
in the San Siro and the Giuseppe Meazza.
Yeah,
and I think the stats on the reports were saying that they could have sold 300 to 400,000 tickets. That's how much demand there was for those games.
Yeah, it's Milan is a football city. If someone listened to this, and international listeners or Swedish listeners that haven't been to Milan and watch a game in San Siro, I think you actually should, because there are some talks that they will actually they will build a new stadium
again to share.
Again to share. But I think San Siro is maybe not the most like modern stadium in the world, but it's like atmosphere-wise, it's something else, and
especially for big games.
Exactly.
I don't think the regular Italian league game, I don't know, is atmosphere that good?
Nah, it's still really good. Still really good. Maybe not like like it is in Germany, but still like really good.
Yeah.
I've been there twice, and both times have been like really good atmosphere. But in the Champions League semi-final with Inter facing Milan, like in a local derby, I can imagine that must have been crazy. Yeah. Because it's a city that like breathes football.
Yeah.
And
two big clubs.
Yeah, they're so like historically big. The rivalry is like super big also. So yeah, crazy actually that they get to meet each other in the Champions League semi-final, and also like
they did in 20 years ago as well.
Yeah,
2003 I think.
Yeah, exactly. But back then, both of them were like in a different level.
Yeah, they were like two of the best teams in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're not there. But still, they are on an uprise also, which I think is fun. So it's also like you could see that both of these clubs are still like on quite on a decent level. They're going somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. And this will be huge for them also financially. They've had financial problems, but I think Inter from this, I mean, they're making over 100 million euros.
Yeah, exactly. And I also think that
they being top four as well, so that's really going to help them financially.
Definitely. And I also think that they can for sure like attract players now, because now they've shown that they can go far in the Champions League, and then maybe some bigger players want to go to these clubs. Because you can see not in Inter, but maybe in Milan, that you can see players that they're not in like Champions League level.
Not all.
Junior Nias, Messias. You have
the
like
captain as well, Calabria.
Yeah, Calabria. He's also like a bit. He's a good guy, good leader, I think, but he's not the best player. So I also think that they can like attract like better players to them, since they can also show that you can actually go through and go quite far in the Champions League
if you guys make it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. But still, like if we reach Champions League, I think AC Milan can get like quite good players in the summer.
Yeah, maybe. Which players do you think stood out? Over the two legs.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to not say Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah,
he was like pure class.
Yeah, he was
in both of the games. And he scored like 20 league goals. And
second after Osimhen, right? Was 23 or something?
Yeah, exactly. And he's also being shown like how deadly he is as a striker. He's a top class player.
Yeah.
And also, a midfield with bandiera, as you say in Italian, a warrior. Like Barella. Yeah.
Is that what they call him?
Yeah.
He is a warrior, man. He's an unbelievable player.
Yeah. Like, I think he's a bit underrated. He is crazy how good he is.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of Inter. I wouldn't say I was shocked how good he is, but I was just like, maybe I was. I was like, damn, this guy's actually insane.
Yeah, if you don't watch like Serie A here and there, you don't know how good he is.
Yeah.
But he's an amazing player.
Fighter, so good technically as well.
Yeah.
I remember even for, I think, one of the Inter's big chances last week, I think there was a cross, and then he just like, I don't know, back-heeled it to... It looked like he was going to shoot, but then he just back-heeled it to, I think, Mkhitaryan.
Yeah.
Do you remember the chance I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's also like, he's so good offensively and also defensively. He's like the type of player that can run both ways. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Crazy player. And also like there've been some rumors with him, to the Premier League. I think United was quite keen on him.
I'd love him, honestly.
Yeah.
He'd be him or Frankie de Jong. I think either of those two would be insane.
Yeah. Because talking about United, we'll also like some players that actually played for United.
Quite a few.
Yeah, exactly. And none of them were like super successful. But still,
they're all flops.
Yeah. Who is it? Is it Darmian? Is it
Lukaku and Mkhitaryan.
And Mkhitaryan. True. None of them became the success that you predicted. Maybe not with Darmian. He was more of like a
backup.
Yeah, exactly.
Right back.
Yeah, exactly. And also left back. So
exactly.
But he's also been showing since he came back to Italy from United that he's a really good player. He was super good. He went to like Parma, which was not like a super good team, and then he showed there how much quality he had, and then he went to Inter, and now he's actually performing quite well in Inter, which
he is.
I didn't see that one coming, but he was good with the Italian national team. That's why United bought him.
And Lukaku, I mean, he doesn't seem like he's a starter now.
Nah,
but he does look a little bit better than he was previously. He looks a bit fitter.
Yeah, he still looked quite like heavy though.
Yeah, he's been fitter.
Yeah,
like that insane season he had before he went to Chelsea.
Yeah,
that was the best season. Yeah. But he's still looking a little bit better, and he's looking like he's scoring a lot of goals off the bench.
Exactly. But he's also been fitter than what he is right now. But still, he's definitely like in a better form than he was a few times ago. Yeah,
for sure.
But as we talked about previously, we have to maybe give Inzaghi a bigger shout out.
Yeah,
can you tell us a little bit about the circumstances when he took over the club?
Yeah, I mean, like he took over in pretty tough conditions. I mean, Conte, he walked out like a month after they won the 2020-21 title, right? And because he was convinced Inter could match his ambition. Right? So first of all, that Conte doesn't feel like Inter can match my ambition, and then he takes over. And also a week after they won that league, the president Steven Zhang, he showed up at the training ground, asking the players to take a wage cut or defer their wages because of the COVID pandemic.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And that was like right after they won that league as well. And he also spent the previous months looking for an emergency loan. And even when he obtained a loan of I think 292 million euros from Oak Tree Capital Management, it didn't stop Inter's need to sell. And then they also lost Hakimi to PSG, Lukaku to Chelsea. Eriksen had, of course, cardiac arrest.
Oh, true.
In the Euro game against Finland, and because of that, because of his defibrillator in his heart, he was ineligible to play in Italy.
And all these three players were like key players.
Yeah,
they were like
key
super
players,
good.
Looking at all I just said, about losing key players and Conte not believing in the project, and the president asking to take wage cuts and so on, then to be in a Champions League final 2 years later, I mean, that's seriously impressive. No one would have predicted that.
No, and actually, like when he came to Inter from Lazio, he was kind of a hyped coach in Italy, but no one thought that he could perform the way he's performed now with Inter. It's crazy actually, and those he's the brother of the more famous Inzaghi, Filippo Inzaghi.
Yeah. I would think of Filippo when I see him.
Yeah, exactly.
They look so similar as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's like, Filippo Inzaghi, he early on in his career, he was like a Primavera coach, like an under-19 team coach in Milan. And then he took over Milan as first team coach, quite like early in his career. And then everyone thought that, okay, Inzaghi will maybe go and be a top trainer, but now he's the coaching in Serie B. I think it's Brescia.
Oh, yeah?
And allegedly it's more Simone Inzaghi now who's been like, the underrated one, who's actually now a top coach.
Well, was he a player as well, by the way?
Yeah, he was a player also. But he didn't play in that many big clubs.
Yeah, fair.
As Simone played. I can check here actually which he played for. Yeah, he played in Piacenza, Carpi, Novara, and then he played in Lazio. Actually, he was really good in Lazio.
Okay.
But not on the level that like Filippo were. Yeah. Playing for AC Milan for so many years, scoring all these goals.
Champions League finals.
Yeah, also like performing for the Italian national team quite well. So now Simone was definitely not the bigger player, but he is for sure the better coach.
Yeah, no question about that.
Nah, exactly.
But he's been able to do more with less.
Yeah.
I mean, even he lost Perisic last summer. He missed out on Dybala and Bremer, who went to Roma and Juve.
Yeah, both of them were like a done deal to Inter basically, and then he didn't arrive.
Yeah, exactly. Missed out on those key targets, and also Milan Skriniar, one of their best center backs, probably their best center back.
Yeah,
leaving for free this summer to PSG.
Yeah, and also
sorry. Since Skriniar said he's leaving, he's barely played.
Exactly, and he's also like been showing then his trust in players like Acerbi, who was like a former AC Milan reject actually, and then he went on to Lazio, and he had him in Lazio for quite a few years, and also Acerbi had a tough time because he had sickle cancer a few years ago. Yeah. Then he came back from that, and now he's a top level center defender in Serie A. Yeah. And then you also have Bastoni, the young guy.
He's class.
He's also super good, and so he's also been like really good at like developing players that are not maybe the biggest like names, but he made them like really good players. So I'm also like super impressed with like, as you said, when Milan Skriniar said that he wanted to leave, he didn't like play him because he felt like, we are so dependent on him. Yeah, exactly. He more or less focused on...
He believes in his boys.
Yeah, exactly. He focused on the players that he actually brought to the team, and they've showed that they are good enough to play for Inter.
Yeah, they have. And even like I said, United rejects, Darmian, so
yeah, exactly.
Everyone's performing at a solid level.
Yeah, it's actually talking about how impressive this is. To give it a context, how impressive it is. He's actually the first Italian coach to take Inter to a European Cup final since Giovanni Invernizzi. It was over 50 years ago. So it's also like an Italian coach hasn't performed that well with Inter for many years.
Yeah, that's seriously impressive, honestly.
Yeah. And as you said, I think for both of these teams, actually, it will be a financial boost.
Very much needed.
Yeah, I mean, and also like
Italian football in general been struggling financially.
Yeah, and also like as you said with both Inter and Milan, that you can for sure like attract players that are on a different level if you show that you can go so far in the Champions League with. For Milan, hopefully now they will reach the Champions League. Yeah. But you can show also like with quite a bad team, player by player, you can reach to the Champions League semi-final.
Yeah, for sure.
How far can you reach with a better squad? Yeah. Also, so from Milan if they go to the Champions League not next season, I think they can attract players, and I think Inter can for sure do that.
Yeah,
and they already have a really good squad. But Milan, they need to improve their squad a bit.
Yeah, you can see over these. Inter is better. For sure.
Yeah, you can see over these two legs that like the level of the squad was not on the.
It's like the bench having Lukaku and stuff like that on the bench.
Yeah, we don't have we brought in like Origi instead, and he's a Liverpool hero, but he's not a good player.
Yeah,
he's not a
level.
Nah, exactly.
And I think also, you mentioned new players, but I also think this money is also going to help them be able to offer contract extensions to key players. The likes of Handanovic, who has high experience, Dzeko, Steven De Vrij, Bastoni, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, who are like key players. So being able to keep those guys as well is equally important as getting new ones.
Yeah, definitely, because they can most probably give them higher wages. Yeah, and that can maybe give them a reason to stay. Yeah. Because I think many football players would like to live in Milan and to play football there, but when the financial part is so much bigger in, for example, the Premier League, that can of course tease you to go there. But I think with the money they get now, they can make really good players actually stay longer.
Yeah, I think so.
In Italy. So yeah, but now it's going to be a really interesting final, right?
Yeah, man.
The 10th of June.
10th of June.
Yeah.
It's when you have your birthday celebration.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's actually the cup final, the English one, is on my birthday. And then when it's my birthday celebrations, it's the Champions League final.
The FA Cup final, or?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the third.
It's the third?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we said it's
Saturday.
Yeah.
and then the following Saturday Champions League.
Okay. My bad. There's a bit of hopes here that my birthday will have a good football game, but apparently not.
We'll still.
Yeah.
We can't miss it for your celebration.
Nah, exactly.
But we'll start early though. Yeah? We'll be in the park and then we'll make sure we watch it.
Yeah, exactly. So we won't miss a frame of that. And another thing that we don't think you should do is miss another frame of our podcast. So if you don't follow it, make sure to do it. You can now watch like the whole video format in the Spotify app.
Yeah.
Also, when you listen to our podcast, so I think that some people maybe didn't know that, but you can actually do that too. So
it's a pretty cool new feature.
Yeah, and a feature that we believes in a lot. This whole like video format.
Yeah. Or those of you who prefer just audio, you still have that as well.
Exactly. So if you don't want to see our ugly faces, you can go ahead and just listen to us instead. So we're the podcast for everyone, basically. If you like football.
Yeah. We got some exciting guests coming up, some big ones.
We say that in every episode, it feels like, but we're always trying to reach out to interesting guests from the football world, and I think we've had quite a few really interesting ones already, but there will be more to come for sure. So make sure to follow us and don't miss out, because this is a journey that you want to be part of for sure.
No question about that.
To everyone, enjoy the end of the football season. This is the best part of the year. When everything's going to be decided.
Yeah, it is.
So,
May.
Enjoy.
May, what a month, just in general. End of football season, summer is coming, just good vibes overall. Like, it is arguably like the best month, just how you feel.
Yeah, definitely. Because you have so much in front of you, and then there's also like the football season and how it all like ends up. It's amazing to follow.
It is.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the What's Going On podcast. We love you all.
Love you guys.
Take care. Until next time.
Bye.